this is a big year in Tennessee, and I'm going to tell you, we have to make certain that not only do we win my seat, but that we win all of these congressional seats, that Bill Lee wins this race for governor, and that we hold our supermajorities in the State House and the State Senate. It is something that is imperative for us here in Tennessee. And you know, I gotta tell you, Tennesseans overwhelmingly elected President Donald Trump. And I am so grateful that they sent him to the White House and that they sent a message that Tennesseans, that Americans are not going to stand by and just let the federal government keep increasing their taxes and increasing regulation and diminishing their freedoms. Someone had mentioned to me one day as we were out and about, they said, you know, I voted for President Trump because I wanted to send a message that I agreed they needed to drain the swamp. And I said, that's so true. And we're glad that he is there. Tennesseans overwhelmingly agree with him and support his agenda. And I am running for the Senate seat to take those Tennessee values to Washington, D.C., to help President Trump get that agenda finished and get it to his desk so it can be signed into law. And we all know the Senate is basically dysfunctional. And I am running, and I've told Leader McConnell, I said, look, I am running because I think the Senate majority is dysfunctional. I think that they have forgotten who they serve, and I think that we need to get this thing back on track to be a government of, by, and for the people, have that majority act like a majority, and have them get things to Donald Trump's desk so he can sign them. And that is... And I will tell you, repeatedly, Tennesseans talk about what they want to see done. Number one thing, federal judges and Supreme Court justices wanting to see good constructionists, constitutionalists on the bench. And we have 67 federal judges that have been approved, one Supreme Court justice in Neil Gorsuch, and one Supreme Court justice on the way in Brett Kavanaugh. If I were in the U.S. Senate and casting that vote this week, I would vote yes for Brett Kavanaugh. And Phil Bredesen is yet to tell you how he would vote. He's yet to tell you how he would vote, because Chuck Schumer sent that memo out last week to all the Democrat senators and the candidates. Hold your powder dry. Don't say we might be able to keep it from going to a vote. No, Tennesseans want to know how you're going to vote on Supreme Court justices. And here's the thing, I'm going to get these judges right every single time. He's going to get it wrong every single time. When it comes to taxes, Tennesseans love the tax cuts. Tax cuts are working in Tennessee. And the fact that the average family is paying $1,700 a year less in taxes, that is money in your pocket. Wages are growing up. We're at 3.7% unemployment in Tennessee. The economy is going gangbusters here. This is a really good thing. People are earning more, they're saving more, their wages are going up. They want to keep their tax cuts, and remember this, there was not one Democrat in either the U.S. House or the U.S. Senate that voted for those tax cuts. Not one. Phil Bredesen said he would have voted no. He called them crumbs, just like his buddy Nancy Pelosi called them crumbs. $1,700 a year is not crumbs. More money per hour or a salary increase is not crumbs. You know, at the Blackburn household, we say that's a new refrigerator, it's a new washer, a new dryer. Our grandkids say that's money for us to take them to a UT ball game. There's all these things that can happen when you have that extra money in your pocket. So it's important that we keep those tax cuts. When Phil Bredesen was governor, he raised taxes about $1 billion. What did I do? I led the fight against the state income tax. We were successful. The people of this state joined me, successful in defeating that state income tax. Then Brian Kelsey led the way for a resolution to amend our state constitution. We will never have a state income tax in Tennessee, and thank you for that good work. And in order to help these state legislators out, I did exactly what I said I was going to do when I went to Congress. I got tax fairness for Tennesseans, and I restored your ability to deduct the sales tax you pay every year from your federal income tax filing. It took away that objection. They kept saying, well, you know, we want to be able to deduct this. And we would say, well, we need to be able to deduct the sales tax we pay every year. So I did that. I built a bipartisan coalition. And those of us in non-state income tax states like Florida and Texas and us and Washington State and Nevada, now we can deduct that sales tax. Governor Wilder used to tell me that was worth $1 billion a year to your pocket because I got that deduction. So Bredesen's going to raise your taxes. I lowered your taxes. I also supported the Trump tax cuts so that you have more money. I was at Mule Day. Have any of y'all ever been to Mule Day at Columbia? Tons of fun. You should go. Just be sure you walk in front of the mules and not behind them. But this guy came up to me at the Farm Bureau breakfast at Mule Day and he said, Marsha, liking those tax cuts? I said, you do? He said, yeah. I used to have too much month at the end of my money. Now I got a little bit of money at the end of my month. So Tennesseans are putting these tax cuts to good use. Another thing is the immigration issue. I will stand with Republicans in the Senate, the House, and with President Trump and build that wall. I have to tell you, the immigration issue, the illegal immigration issue, where you have illegal entry of not only human beings, but you have the gangs, you have the drug traffickers, the sex traffickers, the human trafficking. People want this to stop. And it is time to secure that southern border and end this illegal entry in our country. Protect our sovereignty. Know who is coming into our country. So that is an issue where there is another clear difference between Bredesen and I. When he was governor, what did he do? He gave 51,000 illegal aliens valid state-issued driving certificates. 51,000 valid state-issued driving certificates paid for by the taxpayer. That is a clear difference. He's called President Trump's wall, he's called that political theater. So you're going to see us approach this issue differently. I'm for securing the border. The Democrats in Washington, open borders and abolish ICE are the number one things that you hear from them. So issue after issue, supporting the troops, caring for our veterans, protecting our sovereignty, fighting the debt and the deficit and bringing forward solutions to address these issues. We are going to approach them differently. Now, I appreciate everything that y'all are doing for President Trump and to make certain that we elect him in 2020 and that we continue his agenda. Part of that is making certain that we continue to hold the U.S. Senate. Chuck Schumer says his #1 state to flip is Tennessee, and that he has to flip Tennessee if he's going to be the majority leader. He says Phil Bredesen is his #1 recruit. So let me tell you something. What we have to do is make certain that I win this. If Phil Bredesen were to win, first thing he would do, he'd be supporting Schumer for majority leader. And then he would support Dianne Feinstein to chair Judiciary Committee. He would support Elizabeth Warren to chair Finance Committee. He would support Bernie Sanders to chair the Budget Committee. And then he would support Patty Murray to take away Senator Alexander's chairmanship at Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. Patty Murray is the nation's leading advocate for government-run single-payer health care, where you'd be talking to a bureaucrat about your health care. So there are some clear differences. We need your help. We know we cannot win this by ourselves. Schumer has said if it takes $50 million going into Tennessee, that's what they'll do. So we need your help. We spend a lot of time raising friends and funds. And Kitty Kelsey, right here, wave so they can see you. Kitty is running our ground game here. We're knocking on doors. We're making phone calls. We need you to contact all your friends. All of y'all have an iPhone, and in that iPhone you have an address list. I want you to start calling and then share the contact information with Kitty. We have to turn the vote out. We have to turn the vote out. It's important for 2018. It's important for 2020. I was talking to Speaker Gingrich this week, and he said, Marsha, this race is so important because you've got Democrats that are running around saying, oh, we're going to be a moderate. But they've chosen to run as a Democrat. Just like Phil Bredesen, he had a choice. He could have run as a Republican, probably didn't have the courage for that. Could have run as an independent. He didn't do that. He chose to run as a Democrat. He is on their ballot. He would work with the Democrats in Washington. Those Democrats vote with Chuck Schumer 95% of the time. We need somebody who is going to be with President Trump to get his agenda done. So we need your help. Call your church list. Call everybody in your database. Let's make certain that we keep this country on track, that it is an America that is focused on, I say 5 things: faith, family, freedom, hope, and opportunity. That's the big 5. And that everything we're doing between now and November 6th, you've got 33 days to get out there and get the message together, 33 days. Early vote starts in 2 weeks. We need to be certain that we are not leaving any voter behind. We need every one of them at the ballot box. Let's make certain that we do all we can do for preserving our rights and our freedoms here in this country. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.